This is part 10, day 10 of Final Fantasy XVI. Before we get into the main gameplay, I do want to show I did some of the fights off stream for the Notorious Marks. So I did all the ones last night because they take a while. But I did have to record and show this one because it was really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys here.
Another relic of the fallen. Though it seems this one has a little more life left in it. All right then.
As you can see, I'm under-leveled for this fight. But I found that really one of the best ways for these fights is to stay on Titan in order to be able to parry and block with Titanic block, because it is super useful, and then if you get it just right, you can do those Titanic counters. But otherwise, it basically just throw up the rock and take the hit with no damage. By keeping it on Titanic block, I'm not using the other iconic abilities like I have in previous fights, where I'm cycling through and just using them and then just letting them refill. And that's basically what's keeping me alive, is keeping it on Titanic block. And then once it gets into the stagger position, which coming up close here, hitting the limit break. As you can see, I've fully hit 4 bars on limit break. That's fully leveled up. The popping limit break, doing my Titan abilities, or swapping over. And then Phoenix abilities / Ifrit abilities, and then the Garuda abilities. Before swapping back to Titan. I could probably knock it out faster if I was swapping between the abilities, but considering how underleveled I was playing it a little more judiciously and carefully than I initially, would have otherwise. Although I do swap here to do the, once he hits 50% to down him for a little bit before swapping back to the Titan and as you can see, I'm close to filling my limit gauge again, just primarily from doing the blocks more than anything else. Counters. It's got that little teeny tiny bit left. I thought for a second that I did it, but it would have been cool to have finished on that hit. But it also gives you the cool ending there where I block and slash. But yeah, that's the that was a fight that I was like, alright, I really regret not streaming this fight. But thankfully the PlayStation has recording capabilities of up to 15 minutes, and that was under 7 minutes for that fight. So let's get back into it. We partnered up with Theodore and Eloise, and we have some side quests that we need to do before we speak with Goots.
If our new arrivals.
Now I just need to see about getting the word out. I want to know right away. Bad news. Good, actually. Something worth celebrating for a change. Only trouble is, the serving girl's still new to the job, so I can't leave her while I go and invite those I'd like to celebrate with.
What exactly are you celebrating, if you don't mind me asking?
I've come by a particularly fine bottle of red. A Gotan 66, no less. Gotan Rouge is the only good thing to have ever come out of the Empire. And most wouldn't part with a 66 if you held a knife to their throats.
So I've heard.
Oh, so you know of it then? Clearly you're a gentleman of taste.
Haven't seen my outfit?
Sympathize with my predicament, perhaps? Would you pass the good news to a few friends of mine? I'll give you a little something for your time, of course.
15 reputation, I guess.
Simple enough.
So you'll do it? Marvelous. Thank you. You won't need to go far. All three of them should be right here in the market. There's Aldrich the porter, Milan the butcher, and Bolek, a guard over at the north gate. Three of the finest fellows in Boklad, if you ask me. Tell them to come to the tavern when they finish for the day. Stop by again when you let them know, and I'll give you your little something.
I'll be right back.
What a nice guy. He's gonna share this rare beverage with his friends. True homie.
Hurry, man. I've been asked to find Aldrich, the porter. I don't suppose that's you, is it?
That's me right enough. You need something delivered?
The innkeeper sent me. He said there's a cup of Gotan 66 with your name on it when you're done for the day.
A 66? Bugger me. If he's just got hold of it now, It must have been in the crates he had me carry down from Sambrek.
From the Empire to Boklad. You must be a braver man than most. That's a treacherous route at the best of times.
Such is the porter's lot. There's not a patch of storm these feet haven't traipsed across. It's Oriflamme one day, then off to Canva the next. The farther you're willing to go, the fatter the purse. Which is why there's no shortage of competition for some of the longer routes. I'd say I've done enough for today to earn myself a cup of something tasty.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Thanks for letting me know.
Doesn't have to piss in a water bottle. Amazon driver.
Out of my sight, wretch.
Come on, come on!
The caravan stops next to the checkpoint.
Are you Milan, the butcher?
That's me. What can I do for you?
The innkeeper's just had a special delivery. He thought you might like to join him for a cup of wine after you pack up for the day.
He knows me only too well. And I've got a ham here that will go handsomely with a nice drop.
Wine and ham to spare. Boklad clearly isn't suffering then.
Comes with being the place everyone has to pass through to get to everywhere else. Those who travel the Crystal Road bring all manner of goods with them. We get meat from Sanbrek, herbs from Rosaria. Why, sometimes we even see curiosities from across the Narrow. My old man knew what he was about when he set up shop here all those years ago. Anyway, thanks for the good news. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll shut up shop early. Wouldn't want to keep our friend waiting.
All those meats out in the heat of the desert with no cooling. I don't know. Seems a little sketch.
Tight-fisted spies.
You must be... Oh, you're Bullock.
I'm looking for Bolek.
Hello,
Told me
motherfucker.
guarding the gate.
Hello, DDA.
Found him. You're not here to enlist, I take it?
The innkeeper sent me. He's just taken delivery of a rare
Happy
vintage,
America Day to
a
you,
Gotan
sir.
66. He thought you might like a cup.
I've never said no to a goat hand. I'm not about to start now. Thanks for letting me know.
You must be a busy man.
The market would be flooded with refugees if we weren't here to stem the flow. Oh, my heart goes out to them, all right, but we've got our orders. No papers, no passage. Plenty try to slip past us nonetheless. And every now and then,
Are you
one
at
is
work
foolish
today?
enough to try
I
and
saw you're
force
playing
their
Power
way
Wash,
through.
and I figured, oh, he's
When they
probably just
do,
playing it
well,
on xCloud.
Things can get nasty. You know what? That wine's sounding better by the moment.
Well done. I wonder if the innkeeper might spare a cup of that wine.
You won't find anything of this quality in Twinside.
Jug of snake spit for the road?
Come on, come on!
At home, just doing some relaxing Power Wash while I figure out what to start next. Gotta take the little breather between long games. Yep. The palate cleanser. Do you have any idea what you're gonna do next?
If our new arrivals had brought any
I spoke to your friends. They'll be along soon.
That's fantastic news. Thank you kindly. It's been a while since we all sat down together. And the way I see it, that wine is as much theirs as it is my own.
How so?
Well, I wouldn't be serving anything but slops without Aldrich to go and fetch the good stuff for me. And then there's Milan, who always sends customers my way. And Bolek, an even-handed keeper of the peace, if ever there was one. Those three are the backbone of Boklad. Lose any one of them, and the market would soon fall apart. And without the market, I wouldn't have a single customer. I'd say that's worth a bottle of 66, wouldn't you?
And more besides.
Everyone needs a shoulder to lean on. Be they world-weary innkeepers or brooding swordsmen. Right. I'd better prepare for my guest's arrival.
I hear you had me carrying a bottle of Gotan 66. If I'd have known,
Crank up the
I would
PS5
have
to play
sold
the
thing
Horizon
and lived
games.
like a lord. I'll settle for a cup though, if you're in a sharing mood.
A Gotan 60 bloody 6. Just as
Have
well
you,
I had something special of my own set aside.
Do you have any
Well,
desire to
between
do
the four
Last of Us
might
after
not be
watching
enough
the
to drown our
series?
sorrows, but it can't hurt.
Here they are, the free pillars of Boklad. Sit yourselves down, gentlemen. The woes of the world may be monstrous and many, but there's nothing like a few good friends to keep the misery at bay.
Never a true
That's a good
word
quote.
spoken.
You haven't touched Dredge yet, have you? I saw it was on sale this week, the deluxe edition. I need to look into it more, but I've heard great things about it. You check that out before starting another 50+ hour game? Yeah. I think it's only 20 hours? I think it said on TA? 20, 25 maybe?
Pardon me, but would you have that well-notched steel and impressive physique? I have need of a sword for hire, and yours looks to be a weapon well worth the coin. Might you be convinced to offer me the use of those formidable arms?
Are you sexualizing me, sir?
Well, being something of a scholar of Zemeckis history, I wish to investigate the ruins near the city, and I require a rugged companion, lest I find myself waylaid by ne'er-do-wells or the beasts sent to roam the area. Should you accept, you will not only earn yourself material wealth, but partake of the true treasure that awaits us there. The rich and storied history of Zemeckis. Well, will you ever party to a finer proposition?
My arms are yours.
Wonderful! Then come. We must away.
But where are we going?
Along the old Zemeckis Road, and from there, onward to discovery. Quickly! There is not a moment to lose.
Wait. Good luck with your ne'er-do-wells.
Assuming I'm gonna have to save him from some
I'd better make sure he doesn't get himself killed.
brigands.
Porter for hire. Best service at the best price.
I'll pick this up just in case
I
I
see
go
you've been
around
of
that
some
way too.
assistance to Eloise. Perhaps you can extend me the same kindness?
Perhaps. What would I be doing?
Finding someone. You see, I've been having trouble with thieves, and despite the many pains I've taken, I can't stop them from rummaging through my packs. I was griping about my lot to a friend of mine a few days back, and he offered to track the culprits down. Now, Joseph's a sellsword, and a good
Hey,
one at
yo.
that. But he's been gone days, and I'm beginning to fear the worst.
Any idea where his search for the thieves might have taken him?
The old Zemeckis Road, perhaps? He doubted they would be fool enough to linger here in Boklad. Joseph's lived a hard life. Made him grey long before his time. I just pray he hasn't been killed over a few sacks of grain.
Why does this sound like my
I
life?
imagine there are too many grey-haired sellswords around. Hopefully someone will have seen him.
That's that then.
There are no crystals here.
I'm glad I picked that up because I'm on the way here.
What do you want? I've no coin on me.
Just information. Has a sellsword passed through here? Grey hair.
Now you mention it, there was a young man with salt in his mane sneaking around out there a while back.
Which way did he go?
How am I supposed to know? Buggered off down the road, I expect. Now why don't you do the same and leave me be?
surprised.
You'll hand over your coin if you know what's good for you.
Oh, I was gonna try to hit him off the cliff. Is that gonna work? Nope. I feel like it should do a finishing blow if you get him on the ground and do that impalement.
Are you hurt?
Happily not, good sir. Thanks to your timely intervention. More importantly, we have arrived. Now, feast your eyes upon the marvel before us. Ruins, a relic of the fallen civilization. A sight so common that man is oft blinded to its wonder. Colossal vessels, dashed from the very heavens. Airships, we call them, with very little thought to what wonders such a word might describe. Oblige me if you would. Does anything strike you as peculiar about this particular specimen? Though we ourselves find fallen ruins to be nigh indestructible, whatever gouged the final sin from the rock cleaved clean through the structure you see before you. A tantalizing mystery, no doubt, but merely one of countless enigmas in which Zemeckyan history is steeped. Come, good sir. Our expedition continues, and we still have much to learn.
He's passionate. I'll give him that.
We don't want any trouble.
Neither do I. I'm looking for someone. A grey-haired mercenary.
Well, we haven't seen him.
Yes, we have. We saw him climbing up the rocks. Those ones, over there.
Maybe he found his thieves.
Mum won't let me near them. She said there's goblins up there, and that they eat little boys for dinner.
Shush, now. You've said quite enough already.
I only told him what
Mouthy
you
kid.
said.
I'd listen to your mother if I were you.
Oh, this is not the way up there? Alright. Killed those wild dogs for nothing.
Did Joseph's thieves really lug their stolen wares all the way out here?
Ancient sword. What are its stats? Yes, that is an upgrade. Donald Duck noise is so fucking ridiculous.
They don't look happy to see me.
Goblin Prince.
Stay down. Enough.
Have to fight his crew of
Let's
flunkies.
get this over with.
Stop! Don't kill him, he's just protecting his home.
Joseph. So the boy was right.
I don't know you.
Your porter friend sent me to find you. She was worried you might have got yourself killed.
Have I been gone that long? Wasn't hard finding the thieves. The problem was knowing what to do with them when I did.
I take it things are more complicated than they appear.
I'd all but ruled out bandits before I even left the market. You know why that is? Because our thieves had no interest in gold or gems, or anything they couldn't eat for that matter. Add to that the rumors of goblins in the area, and the mystery practically solved itself. I soon found their cozy little homestead and all the missing food. I launched myself at them, full of righteous fury, but their leader was the only one who moved to meet me. The others, they huddled around that food, ready to die protecting it. They stole because it was that or starvation. I've been there myself, back when times were hard.
So you spared them. And earned their trust into the bargain by the look of it.
These goblins aren't native to the area. They don't know how to survive such barren lands, so I've been teaching them. And once they've learned to hunt and forage, they won't be fool enough to risk their necks in Bocklad.
I'm impressed. I didn't know goblins could be reasoned with.
Do me a favor. Let the porter know I'm safe. I'll head back to the market once my work here is done. Oh, and don't mention the goblins. I don't want people coming here brandishing pitchforks. Not now this lot have sworn off thieving.
Your secret's safe with me.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Go save Professor Dingaling.
Not. All right then.
Goblin rabble rouser. All right. So I love how we let those other goblins live and these ones were just murdering.
to get yourself killed.
Oh, that would not do. That would not do at all. Not when such majesty stretches out before us. Behold, the final sin in all its glory. As Moss tells us, a battle was fought here in ancient times. A battle of such ferocity that it tore a great crater in the very land upon which it was waged. In reaching for their holy sanctum, did man enrage the gods, and great was the vengeance that was rained down upon him. Alas, the full truth of the matter is lost to time, though I live in hope that I might see it discovered. But we must not dwell upon such things. There is more yet to see. Onward! History awaits!
Oh no. He's really put himself into trouble this time. Help me, boy.
Alright, has this guy found out enough about history and he's good to not run around and get killed?
Still in one piece?
It would seem so. Once more I am in your debt, and once more you impress me with your prowess. These were no ordinary foes, but ones we in the field call echoes. Though Moss the Chronicler concurs with the legends in attributing the fall of Zemeckis to a wrath wrought upon mankind by the gods, he offers little in the way of explanation. Could the ruins we see before us here, in all their elaborate beauty, perhaps suggest an answer? Could the construction of such miraculous edifices have been considered an encroachment upon the province of the divine? Alas, all is mere speculation. But one day, perhaps, I will learn the truth.
Not if you keep running headfirst into trouble.
You are right, of course. And not only have you plucked me repeatedly from the jaws of death, you have proven yourself a willing audience to my ramblings.
Honestly, that's the worst part of it all.
Didn't you say you came here to investigate something?
I fear I may have rather overstated the case on that front. In truth, a captive ear was all I really desired.
God.
You see, even my fellow scholars have grown somewhat weary of my musings.
I wonder why.
And so I came upon the idea of purchasing a companion. A captive audience, if you will.
right, Dennis
That's what this is
Nielsen.
all about.
I am afraid so. And now, my good man, it is high time we returned whence we came.
Fine. Just don't go running off this time.
And so ends a delightful day. Here, your reward for humoring my selfish whims, plus a little extra for the trouble I have put you to.
The reducing by a certain number of seconds is like never enough to justify giving up one of the accessory slots.
Joseph's fine. He'll be back once he's tied up a few loose ends.
That's a weight off my shoulders.
He certainly knows his business. He found your thieves all right. And I dare say they won't be coming back.
A good man to have around, that Joseph. And if he says there'll be no more thieving, that's good enough for me. Thank you for putting my mind at ease. Here, for your troubles.
Alright. Now that that's all done, we can go talk to Goots.
Let me carry your goods. I'm cheap. Peaches and pears.
Come on, come on!
The caravan stops next.
Juicy pears! Slake your thirst.
What I really want to be is a blacksmith.
You gonna do an apprenticeship or something?
Here you are, good. Try not to lose it again.
Me pass! You found it! Oh, thank you so much. Nan would have killed me if I'd come back without it. I'll have to say thanks to Elle and Theo, too.
So should you, Hansa. You and your friends don't have to steal anymore. If anyone threatens you again, you know who to turn to.
We do. And we already have. Miss L's given us a job shifting the chocobo shit out the stables. It's hard work, and the pay isn't half what we got from the stones. But if we stick at it, we'll keep ourselves fit.
You stick at it then.
And Goots, I'm sorry for stealing your pass.
That's all right. I've got it back now. And all's well that ends well, eh?
You said you're trained to be a blacksmith, right? Well, I'm gonna be your first customer. I'm gonna save up all my gil and get you to make me a massive sword.
I'll do me best.
Till then, eh?
All right. We have a place on the wagon. Remember, Goots, we're mercenaries. You hired us to protect you.
Mercenaries.
And you remember the plan? You're to ride all the way to Twinside. Jill and I will go with you as far as the outskirts, then find our own way in.
I'll buy that stuff I need.
Right. And we'll scout out the Imperial's defenses.
There's a square with a big bell tower right in the middle of town. If you get lost, or out goes wrong, we can meet up there.
All right. Let's go.
So pretty.
I see. And you're quite certain your father has no knowledge of Ultima?
I am. I have no difficulty believing a sinister force has come to exert an influence on Sanbreque. But be that as it may, it is yet to claim my father. For better or worse, his radiance speaks his own mind.
Then the fiend works from the shadows.
I confess, when first you told me of this fiend, I had my doubts, and more than a few at that. A beast that labors to plunge Valisthea into turmoil, all in pursuit of your brother. But that wound is proof enough that evil is afoot.
Then I have your answer.
Gaping chest pussy,
You
his
will join me in my fight.
pussy, as it were.
I cannot. Not yet.
Your Highness, please.
As you are aware, the Dhalmekian army is at our gates. They have lost their mother crystal, and with it all hope of a negotiated withdrawal. It is but a matter of time before they invade. If Bahamut is not here to meet them, my people will be slaughtered.
Though not by Hugo Kupka, thanks to Ultima's machinations. I know the fate of your people weighs heavy on your conscience, but if we do not put an end to Ultima's plans, they shall face a far darker fate. The chaos he would wreak would sweep all of Valisthea into the abyss. The lives of every man, woman, and child in the Twins are at stake.
I believe what you say, Phoenix. But I have duties of my own, and I must discharge them. Come what may. What do you know of my blood?
I know that it is wholly unworthy of the highest offices of state, which rightly belong to those of purer breeding. Alas. Your bloodline runs through the Oriflamme gutter, from a whore who weighed her child's worth in gil.
Have you threatened my father?
Of course not. I merely whispered in his ear that his mongrel son is plotting a rebellion.
What?
Sylvester listens to the words of his astrologers. And they have ears too.
You have been feeding them your lies!
Should you remain loyal to Emperor Olivier, his radiance may yet crown your head with laurel, and not with tar.
Fork-tongued witch!
In consideration of your long years of service to the Empire, I shall forgive this uncharacteristic rudeness. Now hurry and make ready, Your Imperial Highness. Emperor Olivier expects much of you, Dion. Or should I say, of Bahamut. May your fire reduce his enemies to ash, till all of Valisthea bows to its rightful ruler.
There is another darkness that has taken hold of Sanbreque. And until its grip is released, the flames of war shall spread ever wider, just as Ultima wishes.
Forgive me. My family has caused you much grief.
You are not her keeper, Phoenix. This is a matter for the Imperial household now, and as a member of that household, it falls to me to resolve it. At such time as that is done, what strength I have shall be yours.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Let us take to the skies together, and bring a new dawn to Valisthea.
I should like nothing more.
Terence,
My prince.
tell me true. Do you believe what I'm about to do is wrong?
We dragoons have but one leader, Your Highness. And we shall follow him unto the very end.
Thank you. And this is my decree. For their crimes against the crown, the traitorous Annabella and her usurping son shall be put to death, and the Empire restored.
Oh, you're doing the Tomb Raider DLC. I really wish they put achievements on that in the Final Fantasy one. Aw, Torgal has to sleep outside.
One would never guess that these people stood on the brink of war.
They're afraid. They turn to drink to forget their fears.
Anything you want to forget?
The harbor is empty, and half the market stalls too. The city may seem peaceful on the surface, but it's balanced on a knife edge. Were we to give it a nudge, it might be just the distraction we need to reach the Mother Crystal.
I thought you might say that. We should send for Gav. We'll need someone to keep the fires we start from going out.
And we can busy ourselves scheming until he gets here.
Little schemers.
I'll send a Stolas then.
Yeah, one of the upcoming paid ones is a mystery, and the other is Warhammer, I think. Yeah, Warhammer 40K.
What is it, boy?
I'll put a price alert for both of those games. I never played I played like maybe an hour of the first Dead Island because it was games with gold and I didn't care about it, or didn't care for it. No, not the medicine girl.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Torgal!
This way.
Smoke on the water, fire in the sky.
The city's on fire.
I'm sure Goots is fine. He'll be making for the square.
The one with the bell tower. In the middle of town, right?
Where am I supposed to go here? Oh.
Guard, watchman, or sentry is to be slain on sight.
But spare the citizenry. His Highness's orders were clear. The people are to...
Those were Imperial Dragoons. What in the hell is going on?
Let's go and see.
Right. But first we find Goots.
I just hope he's all right.
You there! Identify yourself!
Do we have to?
Hurrah! Quickly! Cut them down!
Where's their mage? Oh, Jill took care of the mage already. Good job, Jill. Torgal just hit him and he died? Cool.
There's no doubt about it. They're Dragoons. What is this then? A civil war?
What's so civil about war anyway?
Never thought I'd be glad to fall into a sewer.
Ward secured, Captain. None of the Emperor's forces remain. They gather the men. You push on to the council chambers. Yes, Captain. What of the men and women in the market district? The evacuation is complete, Captain. Good. Then all that remains is to dethrone the Pretender.
There it is. The bell tower.
Right. Let's go. Ah, a goods lift.
Where in Grigger's name did you come from? Intruders! For the prince! Defend the gate!
To me, Flame! Nice try.
Oh, how do I get up to claim that? Oh, did it fall in an area I can't reach? Oh, alright.
There's a good boy. Slow. Damn it. We'll have to find a way around.
I'm going to assume somewhere over this collectible up there.
Stop! In the name of His Highness!
Alright, nobody else here?
done, kids. We're coming.
Who goes there? In the prince's name, none shall pass. I'm hurt, Torgal.
Let me crank that down a smidge. Thing here? Nope.
Enemies on the ramparts! Kill them!
Can you see him anywhere?
Oh shit.
It must be one of the Dragoon's pets.
Blue Eyes White Dragon?
Help me, boy.
Holy shit. Alright, 41,000 damage, stagger.
I think it has something in store for us.
Get ready to move. I'm hurt, Torgal. Nice try. Too slow.
Oosh. That was a thick boy.
Over here, Clive! Are you alright?
Goods, there you are.
I didn't know there'd be a dragon.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Oh!
What now?
Is that the Mother Crystal's heart?
What the hell is it doing up there? Bahamut.
Your Highness, don't do this.
We must leave. Now, Your Grace. I beg of you.
This is not what he wanted. Something's happened. Forgive me, Yut, but I must put a stop to this.
Your Grace!
Ice? A new kind of crystal.
So, what do we do now then?
We destroy the heart.
Well, you might come back.
As soon as the flames die down, the Imperials and the Dalmex will move in. This may be our only chance.
And Bahamut has gone for now. You should get as far away as you can, Goots.
What? And leave you lot in the lurch? I can't do that. If you're staying, then so am I. I packed everything up before I made a run for it, so if there's out you need, just ask. But I won't be giving it away for free. Nana'd never forgive us if I did.
Thank you, Goots.
do you need out? Let me show you me wares. Is there else you need? Thank you.
Do I have goblin own gill bugs?
I think I counted that right.
Black blood can be Oh, alright.
Else you don't need? A pleasure doing business with you. Else you don't need?
Let's see here.
All done then? Welcome
Big
to
hammer.
the big hammer.
Excalibur.
Did I do it right?
I already have the Drake Slayer's belt, so that's useless.
You don't want me to make yours out else? Give us a shout if you need out else.
Use of the English language is pretty cringe, my guy.
You be brave now, boy.
Drake's tail is right there, Clive. It's time to free Storm from the crystal's curse.
Oh, it's past time. But remember, Bahamut is still out there.
And I dare say we'll be seeing him again before the night is done.
I forget who called it Bahamut. Who, like, weirdest pronunciation of it.
No more roads.
We'll have to find our own path.
Do you feel that, Clive?
Ether. Just what we need. Another flood.
It's already turned them.
Then there's no reason to hold back.
It's over. Farewell.
way to climb up.
I'm going to assume right here. Joshua.
Is that the Phoenix? Joshua! What is he doing?
Keeping Bahamut occupied.
Joshua! Joshua!
Don't, Clive. It's too dangerous.
Fuck. Hold on, Joshua. I'm coming! We have to save him.
And we will. We just need to keep moving.
Them again. Not now. You're finished.
What was that?
Bahamut. He'll kill us all. There he is. Joshua! I'm here, brother!
Clive. He can't hear you.
Joshua!
They're heading for the heart.
Then so should we.
Oh, I did not mean to pop that ability. I meant to prop this one. Where do we go? Oh, fuck me. Ran the wrong direction. That's the problem with the fight. The camera will switch around and throw me off of where I came from. Undertaker. Spirits Within, that was the name of the Final Fantasy movie, which I saw in theaters on opening day. I made my dad take me. I think I was, fuck, 15? This was the summer we had Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy movies. It was a good year for video game nerds. All right. Oh, mastering it gives you more limit break gauge filling? Alright. Considering that's my primary weapon here.
Are those the council chambers? How are they still standing?
I don't know.
He'll be all right, Clive. He's a survivor.
We're getting close.
And Steppenwolf from
Getting any closer.
Justice League?
Care what it wants.
Neither do I.
Necrophobe. You mean he's scared of dead things?
I don't want to know what that is. We have to end this right now.
Alright, that stopped him from doing his one-hit kill thing. I'm assuming it was a one-hit kill thing. Most of those purple charge-ups are.
To me, boy. Thanks, boy.
These beasts. They're getting stronger.
Well, yeah, but so are we. Called game progression, Jill.
Them later. Right now, there's only one thing we need to focus on.
The heart.
A heart.
We might be able to get up through the building.
It's worth a try.
Quiet. There's someone up there.
Is someone there?
Oh, hey, Mom.
Mother.
It's you.
What happened here?
He tried to take him from me. Oh, my boy. My darling boy.
Is this the child you made with the Emperor? Why, Mother? Why did you betray us all?
You have no right.
Answer him. We took you in, savage. Show some respect for those who raised you. Honorable Elwyn, always thinking of his precious homeland. But what worth is a homeland in a world beset by the Blight?
Father did not seek to protect his country. He sought to protect his people.
A leader's duty is not to protect his people. It is to protect the source of his sovereignty. The noble blood that runs in his family's veins. So long as this bloodline remains unbroken, what does it matter if a nation falls? One can always found another. Unlike him, I did my duty. I preserved my line. I bore a son of the noblest blood, to whom the whole world might kneel. That is why I gave Rosaria to Sambrek, that I might join my line with the Lesages and birth a savior of this benighted land, blessed by both Bahamut and the Phoenix!
You sold your country for a child.
Why did he need another? You had Joshua.
I had nothing. You were always your father's son, so very strong and bold and daring, and yet you failed to awaken. Would that Joshua had been granted 1/10 of your strength? Oh! How the nobles laughed that Elwyn's firstborn was surely the son of a concubine, and my own, not long for this world. The shame of it! The shame of being slandered by one's inferiors! How could you ever know how that feels? It should have been you! Why didn't the Phoenix choose you?
Joshua's every waking moment was spent trying to shoulder the burden that you and the Phoenix and the Duchy foisted on him. That's why I became his shield. To help bear the weight. But what did you do? You betrayed your own blood and surrendered your son to his fate!
Joshua, my darling boy. I never meant to hurt him. The soldiers' orders were clear. He was to be spared. Why did you survive when the only one I truly cared for died?
What? Have you not looked out of the window? Joshua is here! The Phoenix lives on! He's battling Bahamut as we speak!
Joshua!
Joshua! Wake up! I am a shield of Rosaria. And I will do my duty.
What are you...
Yeah, Mom, I'm a dominant too.
Ifrit?
Clive?
Joshua?
Clive!
$300,000 damage just does a little, like 3% damage to his overall health.
Fuck.
Bahamut. You're in the heart.
Oh shit, Joshua's joined the fight?
Joshua! No! Leave my brother alone!
Spit flare.
Or face the consequences.
Clive has learned the ability Spit Flare from Bahamut. Press R2 and triangle to release a massive stream of light that sears anything in its path. Use L to aim. Oh, okay. Extended exposure to the flare will cause enemies to become partially staggered, canceling any initiated abilities. Maintaining the flare for its maximum duration, meanwhile, will result in an enhanced finishing explosion. Alright. What? It wouldn't even let me aim up?
We're not done yet. Shit. Can't reach him. Don't do this! No! Brother! I'll come back for you.
Okay. Let me dodge? What the hell?
Your Highness, stop this! Please think of your people! Where is he going?
Fucking evade, holy shit.
By the founder! Those things are drawing in more ether than I've ever seen! I have to stop them!
Fuck. Alright. So I have to take out those other orbs. Hopefully it gives me a good checkpoint. Alright.
By the founder! Those things are drawing in more ether than I've ever seen! I have to stop them!
Oh, fuck off. That was the last one. Really? I blew up the last one and it still does it? Okay. 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 Alright.
By the founder! Those things are drawing in more ether than I've ever seen! I have to stop them!
Okay, got it. Fuck. The other balls in there just got in the way of me seeing whether or not I'd gotten them all.
Don't you dare! Clive, thank the founder.
It's now or never, Joshua. Joshua!
Clive, get behind me!
If you're sure.
What? Said I was behind him.
It's now or never, Joshua.
supposed to wear his ass for a hat and be that close?
Good work, Joshua!
Get behind me!
If you're sure.
This is drinking the ether.
We have to stop him.
I'm here.
Joshua, are you all right? Damn it. You have to be stronger than this. Come on, Ifrit. Show us your true power.
Fucking came together to make a Megazord.
Have we become one?
This may be enough. We can do it, Clive.
We can. And we will.
We got the Ultima
Together.
thing in our chest too. Probably not a good thing.
Are you ready? Ready!
He's got his health build again. Cool. Freet Risen. Light speed is the ability.
How can we hope to match such power?
By trusting in our own.
$2.16 million stagger damage. Holy shit. they made it into space is pretty fucking silly. Then again, Bahamut in Final Fantasy VII goes into space to do his attack.
He would burn the world.
I mean, I don't blame him for wanting to burn the world.
Not today. Come on, Joshua. This ends now. Dion!
We're gonna somehow protect Dion falling back through the atmosphere. Okay.
Joshua!
Clive!
My brother.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're alive. We both are. Nothing else matters. I never dared hope that I would see this day.
Reunited at last.
Jill.
It is done. The demon that would tear our house apart is no more. Father.
The Mother Crystal. It's collapsing.
Right. We need to leave. No. Wait. I owe him a debt. Fine.
You there. Tell me what section.
Don't reinforce the walls.
Situation.
Report, Captain.
Can nothing be done to call them off?
I regret not, Your Radiance. The Dragoons answer to none but His Imperial Highness. The Council is powerless to intervene.
We're hearing reports of rebel
Madness is this, Dion.
throughout the neighboring districts.
Focus all efforts on extinguishing the fires around the capital. The city can wait.
What about stocks of weapons and armor?
Don't dally, man, go!
Your Radiance.
Are the doors
And I want you to find out
Make sure the doors are locked.
Dalmec's movements.
By the light! Dion, have you taken leave of your senses? Call off the Dragoons at once!
Fear not. The populace will come to no harm at their hands. I am here to save you, Father.
Save me?
A creeping darkness hides in the heart of Sanbrek. It stems from your wife, the traitorous Annabella.
Not another word, Dion.
Father, though you may not see it, the darkness has taken hold of you. It has made you forget yourself. But I bid you remember, there was a time when you ruled not with cruelty, but with compassion. Why now do you turn your back on your people? Why now do you seek to stoke the fires of war? You too have borne witness to this change, Your Eminences. And you know, as well as I, who is responsible for it. A puppet now sits upon the throne, but cut his strings, and the master loses the power!
What?
Dion, you bear steel before your Emperor? Guards! Take him!
For every citizen who falls, another can be bred. For every home that burns, another can be built. Those were your words. But when the last of your citizens has fallen, and all of their homes have been reduced to ash, what will become of your empire, of its rulers, of your god? As the Mother Crystals crumble one by one, and the Blight sweeps in to claim all that we hold dear, our people look to their Emperor for protection. Yet he labors not to secure their futures, but to seize what is left of the twins for himself! Even if it should come at the cost of everything his loyal citizens have labored to build!
Dion, you must understand.
A small price to pay, is it not? You've been blessed with great power, Dion. Enough to win me the world. So go. claim Valisthea for me, brother.
Dion.
Gods! Gods!
Father.
Poor father. How he doted on his children. That he would die to protect me was plain. It was but a matter of when.
You planned this?
You did well to endure so long. But you broke in the end, as I knew you would. And now Muthos approaches. Put him to the proof. I would see if he breaks. Go, Bahamut. Kinslayer.
Cry to the heavens. Oh my god, that was overly dramatic.
Not again.
Brother?
It's a long story.
You cannot stay here, Mother. Come. Take my hand.
Get away from me! This is all just a dream, just a bad dream! You will not take me, Shadow! You will not take me!
Oh.
Mother.
If it is consciousness that weaves your wills together, consciousness that blurs the boundary between your own will and that of others, then we shall set you apart once more. The ties that bind you shall be severed, and humanity return to its proper place. By primogenesis shall a new age of reason begin.
Damn, how's it going? You've missed some wild shit today.
Relax your mind.
Majesty.
She's dead.
Don't you want to play? It's been a long time.
If that is your wish.
Men, you are as meek as all the others.
Such feeble creatures. Gifted the power of icons, yet slaves to fickle emotions which usher you to your doom. And so you bind your fragile wills with strands of consciousness.
The wretched handiwork of a wretched people.
The Sons of Fire were united at last, and for but a moment, their flame burned bright. Soon, Muthos shall become our perfect vessel.
And then shall the world be remade.
Not before the bonds are severed, of trust, of respect, of love. Only when every strand of consciousness is cut away, may Muthos return to our side. By primogenesis shall all be undone. Mankind shall be rid of his wretchedness, and Muthos of his will. But while he yet clings to it, he has the power to forge bonds anew, and so we bid you. Find Muthos, and sever every one.
To destroy that which has no physical form, you ask the impossible.
There is nothing your black blade cannot cut, Odin. We shall unite with Muthos, and bring forth a new world. So long as our vessel remains unclaimed by humanity.
It shall be done, Master. My will is yours.
No, it's not Clive, it's Oh, hello. Barnabas, and we don't know the whole story behind him yet. Alright, you know what, Sam? You're right. There is incest. Or, I mean, I guess it takes the form of his mom, so I don't know if that really counts. But tired and done with people? Done with people. That is relatable as hell. Close enough, yeah.
How is your brother?
Asleep since I returned from the Dominion. Taya says he should be back on his feet soon enough. For a while, at least. She discovered something on his chest. A swelling, circled in stone.
The curse. For every mountain we climb, another rises up to greet us, doesn't it?
It's never ending. Even the sky seems to have grown tired of it all.
Past couple days have been people making mountains out of various hills, and you're sick of hearing about it. Hear that? Okay. You can get it up to a certain, like, charge level. Alright.
I won't be happy if I disturb Joshua. While he rests, I might as well see what Otter has to say.
Nah, you're fine. Yeah, I think her name was Eleanor. Alright, let's go pop an achievement real quick. Or trophy.
Did you see the pair that got hauled into time?
Is a storm coming soon?
Good morrow to you, my friend. I don't believe you've read this particular chapter before. Now this, I believe you will find most interesting. You wish to study the tomes? Did you learn everything you needed?
You need your transmission fixed? Didn't you buy a car last year? No, our brother's grown up now.
Aye, it's a dangerous world out there. Let's stock up while you can. Go on then. You're rubbing me blind, you know.
Blast Elixir. On KO, automatically restores all HP, refills the limit gauge, increases attack power by 10% and defense by 30%. 60 seconds. Holy shit.
Finished, are you?
Oh, it used so. Clutch. Clutch isn't being so clutch.
What do I owe the honor? What do you want?
Grindstone. Need to make that and then make this. Alright, I'll just hold on to that for now. Sons of Ouroboros. Okay. Still under the powertrain warranty, so you don't pay a dime, and your extended warranty covers the loaner. Nice. Alright, I don't have all the crafty material for that.
Anything else?
For now.
Did you see that? Tell me you saw.
Alright, so the mystery one, the Mark Rank S ones are like the one I fought off stream last night that was fucking incredible. So let's one. Being informed buyer, yeah. That's why, like, whenever I buy a new laptop, I buy the Apple Care because that has saved my ass in so many occasions. Alright. This one is Air Norvent Gate. Oh, I have to talk to Otto before I do anything else, I guess.
Otto, how fares the realm?
The realm? Oh, she's just fine. As long as you look past the fat storms out mother crystals and her skies are a roiling cesspit.
And Gav?
He's with your uncle in the Free Cities, helping Mid with her project. Sent an owl their way the moment the winds turned foul. Still waiting on a reply, though.
Do you have any good news?
Well, that depends on your definition of good.
All right, fine. What do you suggest we do?
Oh, no, I'm just a messenger. I leave the scheming to those more suited to the task. Could be that Lady Vivian and Old Tomes have their own thoughts on the current state of things. Could be that they don't. It certainly can't hurt to ask.
I suppose not.
Alright. I fast travel now? Nope, I still need to talk to people.
How is it that every one of your little excursions presages some inexplicable catastrophe? Not that you are to blame for the Dominion's fate. No one could have predicted the actions of the Crown Prince.
I'm sorry I couldn't save your home.
My countrymen are stronger than you think. A few toppled clock towers won't break their spirits. They'll be back on their feet.
My mom just spent $500 to replace the screen on her iPhone. I don't know if she
Look at us.
thought to consider getting the Apple Care or not.
Tempting though it may be, sulking will not help us find a solution to this mess.
You believe there's one to be found?
I don't know. But I am certain we're more likely to find it if we first examine the facts.
Beneath these darkened skies, fear and confusion reign over Valisthea. Oh, the lands around the fallen mother crystals had already begun to wilt for want of ether. But not like this. Crystals that filled wells and fueled furnaces, now nothing but pretty shards of rock. And those that hang from the people's necks cast nary a glimmer of light to keep the dark at bay. It is only a matter of time before the common folk convince themselves that the end of days is upon us. Yet I fear a swift end is more than we can hope for. While most of the world thirsts for ether, the remainder drowns in it, spawning Akashic in droves. And amidst the hordes of mindless beasts, with magics as like to fail as function, even the strongest nation would falter. Rosaria and the Iron Kingdom teeter on the brink of collapse, while the tragedy in Twinside has all but paralyzed the
I think she
Holy
got it
Empire.
last year.
Dalmekia fares little better. Rumor has it the ministers
But she couldn't get to
fled
an
the capital after
authorized
the fall
Apple
of
repair
Drake's
place. She was
fire,
out middle of nowhere.
leaving their beloved republic to crumble. Waloed, meanwhile, moves in earnest. The Einherjar has been sighted off Storm. The world, in short, is in chaos. It would seem our civilization was nothing but a castle of sand, to be washed away at the whim of the waves.
A castle of sand.
Not my best flourish, but it seemed fitting. The reports I've received are considerably more blunt in their appraisal. Without the protection of their nations, it will fall to the people to defend themselves against those who would take what is theirs.
Which is only ever going to end one way.
Defending a farmhouse against a band of chocobo thieves is one thing, but pitchforks and palisades will do little to stall an army's advance. Should the King of Waloed deign to invade, there would be none to stop him.
None but us.
Alright, let me guess. We have to speak to Harpocrates to get fast travel back. That price sounds pretty asinine even for Apple.
Will we ever see the sun again?
I buy heavy duty cases for my iPhone, and knock on wood, I've never had an issue.
Is a storm coming, Sid?
Let me guess. You're here about the skies.
Is there anything you don't know, Lawsman?
It doesn't take a court astrologer to augur the obvious. As for what has disturbed the heavens, that, I believe, is a question the Fallen might be better placed to answer than I. And on the 6th day did the gods tear the sun from the firmament, visiting darkness upon their prideful sons and daughters. But I dare say you remember your childhood lessons on the sins of Zemeckis only too well.
You think they're connected? That Ultima was one of the gods responsible?
Well, he has certainly exhibited powers that we mortals would associate with the divine.
There is nothing divine about him.
But he wouldn't be the first god of whom that could be said, now would he? Yet for all the fairy tales that tell of the sins, there is almost nothing in the way of actual historical accounts. Had I the Journal of Moss the Chronicler, I may have been able to tell you more, but alas, I fear all remaining copies have been lost to time. You will forgive me, I hope?
Certainly not. Because there is nothing to forgive. Even without this journal, you've provided us ample wisdom. And we will always be grateful for it. Perhaps Otto will be more inclined to share his thoughts when he hears what the others had to say.
Nope. Wait. Taking it off? Nope. I'll have to do that. One of the things that this game needed work on was the pacing, because you get like giant cutscenes, and then as soon as they're done, you have to do all this running around to get dialogue from different people. Makes it a bit tedious.
Clive, we have a problem.
Only one. That would be a first.
It would. Actually, there are 3. We had as many owls arrive while you were at the shelves. Martha's got Akashic out her gates, and talk of monsters roaming the hills outside of Northreach has put the wind up Isabel and her lot.
And don't forget Dalimil. Lubor says the village was raided by bandits.
When it rains,
It fucking pours. The curse breakers are spread thin, taking stock of the damage in the Dominion. And even if I could get word to all of them, I doubt they'd get here in time to make any real difference. Which means there's only two people who can.
Jill and I.
Let them know we're on our way.
Alright, now we can fast travel. Kieran Orvent, is that? Alright, and we just need to go down here for that fight. Sure, yep. All right.
Straight home now.
All right, where's the big beastie? Oh, I didn't even bother to fuck around with
This beast isn't to be trifled with.
the new icon abilities.
Nice try.
Alright, I might be too underleveled for this one. Yep. The death yell. Oh my god. Alright, we'll come back. We'll come back to that one later. Got my shit pushed in. Alright. Vomit. Mastering. Oh, increases maximum level to 4. That is a lot of ability points. Uh, here. I don't use that at all, so we're just gonna that. Um, now, guess we'll use this one for now. All right. All right, let's where the other ones are that aren't gonna destroy me. Dalmekia. Um,
Let's go. Fly, Ambrosia.
music is kind of sad.
No mistakes.
I don't have time for this Mickey Mouse bullshit.
alone.
This might take a while. Enough of you, are there? That'll do, girl.
Careful.
Not the god's forsaken soul, eh? Only those who have nothing on them here. So empty your pockets. Ah! Your borders will break!
Alright, the Mega Flare is not as damaging as I expected it would be. Oh. Whatever I did just got me a trophy for the Mega Flare ability, I guess. Easy clap.
A deserter turned outlaw. We were more similar than he knew.
Alright. The Magath brothers are in Port Isolde. Let's do whatever the issue is here first. Or you don't have to come back to Elamil. Oh. A bunch of people were murdered.
Sid. Your new companion appears much more formidable than your uncle. Should I be worried?
Charmer.
You haven't been introduced.
Jill, Clive has told me much about you.
All lies, I'm sure.
Your Stolas said that Dalamil has a bandit problem.
Indeed. Although, you're a little late. They left with our food and guild days ago.
Any idea where they went?
The desert's a big place. Your guess is as good as mine. But the fact is, I have more immediate concerns.
What did you say to me? What did you say?
Ah, as if by magic. Let's just say we've yet to reach a consensus about how to solve Dalimil's little problem. And at this rate, it won't be the actions of the bandits which prove to be our undoing. It will be our own. Now, I've tried reasoning with the dissenting parties, but even the Desert Hare has limits.
Perhaps we could talk to them.
What makes you think they'll listen to us?
What makes you think they won't?
She makes a fair point, Sid. And you won't have wasted much of your precious time if you fail. They're just across the courtyard.
Suppose we just follow the shouting.
You wouldn't talk like that if it had been your men whose throats were slit. Blood for blood. It's the only way.
It's everybody calls him Sid because took on name was Sid the Outlaw after Sid died. It's basically just
like your men.
able to move about the world and have this this legend of who he is.
We hire mercenaries. The only thing we're buying is the bandit's ire. And you cannot fill empty bellies with that. Do you hear me?
But what happens when they come back? Maybe it'll be your throat that's slit.
He basically takes on the mantle to continue doing what Sid was doing.
Any more of this and I'll throw you out myself. Come back when you're ready to talk like adults.
They're arguing like politicians on Twitter, though. Yeah, the idea versus man, like in V for Vendetta.
What's he doing
like,
here?
Ideas are bulletproof versus the man is, mortal.
Sid and Lady Jill. What brings you here?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
Costness is in chaos, and the markets have all but ceased to operate. The Briar's Kiss here in Dalamil is the only place I can reliably obtain supplies. I was here to do just that when Master Lubor told me of his troubles. He thought I might be able to talk some sense into these fools. But if you're here, I suppose his patience must be waning.
Who are those people?
Those were the thorns in Lubor's side. And the reason this place might be headed the same way as Costness. It's these accursed skies. The darkness is enough to drive a man to madness. Or an entire city, for that matter.
We're still working on the skies. But in the meantime, perhaps we can find a solution to Dalamil's problems.
I hope so. For all our sakes.
So, you see my predicament?
What I saw was a room full of people who were angry and afraid. And with good reason by the sound of it. But if left to smolder, that anger and fear could set the entire town alight.
My thoughts exactly. What to do? Both sides wish to protect their homes and livelihoods, if only they could agree on how. But as long as they are divided, we are vulnerable.
And if there's one thing bandits like, it's an easy target.
What would Sid the Outlaw suggest?
Well, if it were my namesake, he'd let them choose for themselves, and be on hand to pick up the pieces when it all went wrong.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster is precisely what it is. But perhaps that realization would be enough to make them question the ingredients. While it's plain neither Conrad nor Natalie will countenance the other's proposal, it may still be possible to make them doubt their own. Before presenting them with a third option.
And that would be?
To pool our resources and save the city ourselves. Why fight each other?
When all that fear and anger can be directed at the bandits.
It appears we have a plan of action. Victor, pay Conrad a visit. See if you can't convince him of his folly. I'll speak with Natalie.
As you wish.
Your faces are not well known in this town. That may prove useful. Don't worry, Victor and I will do most of the talking. You need only play along.
Play along?
What he means to say is yes.
Picture it, Conrad. Your own city. Ah, here she is. The Lady of the Spear herself. Conrad, may I introduce you to Jane, commander of the Red Wings, the oldest mercenary guild in the Free Cities.
A pleasure, my lady.
The pleasure is all mine.
There's a question
As
mark
I
on the
told
subtitle.
you, I summoned the commander here from Canver to inquire about a contract.
Victor says you told him no. That there aren't any men left to hire. Is that true?
True as the crystals cracked. Nobles came and claimed every last one worth his salt. And not just from us Red Wings. You know of the 7 high houses. There must be 2 swords assigned each one. Granted, we have a few boys left. If it's boys you're looking for.
Well, Conrad, are you saying that Dalamil's finest cannot defend this town better than a gaggle of unblooded striplings? That a band of beardless youths could better avenge the deaths of your brave men than you yourselves?
Absolutely not. We'll show those bastards who they're dealing with.
I can't believe that actually worked.
Conrad's not what you call the brightest candle in the crypt. And there's a reason why I had you do the talking and not Sid. Well played, my lady.
Oh, I'm ruined. My shop.
If I had my pickaxe, I would...
I mean, it may still be possible to buy something. Ah, here he is now. Natalie, allow me to introduce Lord Underhill of Randalar's prestigious League of Merchants.
Lord Underhill. At your service.
Underhill?
I was just telling the good lady of our conversation, my lord, and how you were lamenting the state of the capital stores.
Lubor says that not only are the granaries almost empty, but that war and the Blight mean this season's harvest won't be enough to fill them for winter.
Indeed, certainly that is the case. The nobles in the capital are buying up the city's stocks of barley and wine, driving the prices higher than most commoners can afford. It is only a matter of time before the peasants revolt.
It is worse than I thought. If what Lord Underhill says is true, I fear we have little hope of supplementing our stores, meager though they regrettably are. And while I applaud your endeavors to dissuade our more bellicose citizens from seeking vengeance, I sense Conrad is not wrong in his assessment of the bandits' likely return. Which means that now, more than ever, we will need to secure what little we still have. Food, weapons, herbs, everything. If our humble town is to endure not only this hardship, but those that are certain to follow, we must stand united.
All right. If it will help to protect my home, I'll do it. But you needn't have gone through this charade.
More perceptive than Conrad.
Thank you, Clive. Your performance was nothing if not workmanlike.
She saw right through it.
I didn't say it was good, merely that it produced the desired effect. Now, my scouts should be returning shortly. Meet me back at the Briar's Kiss, and we shall see what we face.
I'm not convinced our roles in this ruse were entirely necessary.
It appears I have no choice but to
I don't know. Conrad seemed quite taken with you.
Mummy, I'm scared.
Good news, Sid. Both Conrad and Natalie have somewhat gracefully accepted their new roles. With time, they may even learn to...
Time no longer appears to be the luxury it was before lunch.
I take it your scouts found the bandits.
Technically, it would be the bandits who found my scouts. It appears they march for Dalimil as we speak. All of them.
You're not serious.
Alright, time to kill
They don't just
bandits.
want food, they want the whole damn town.
I have a favor to ask. I'm told the bandits march in two groups, one from the south and one from the desert, in a move doubtless intended to stretch our already gossamer-thin defenses.
Very well. Jill and I will meet those from the desert. But what of the rest?
The rest, my friend, the city shall fight. Together. The stakes, I concede, are high. But if this does not unite Dalimil, nothing will.
That is a lot of faith to put into those who had their hands around each other's throats but a moment ago.
Then it will be for us to see that their hands are kept occupied. And I do mean us.
I thought you might say that.
We'll hold them off for as long as we can.
And we will do the same.
The womenfolk have come to welcome us.
I'll take that one.
He's all yours.
Trying to get 3 precision dodges while I'm charging. sure why that doesn't count.
Too slow. They mean to overwhelm us. Too slow.
I don't know what difference between precision dodge and mega flare dodge is, but
Nice try.
yeah, that was a precision dodge. Because the trophies for getting 3 precision dodges during a single charge. Mega flare.
Nice try. Too slow.
Alright, I'll look into how to do that later. I'm not going to worry about the trophy now. Still have so much game left to play. Oh, there we go. I don't know why it was taking forever. There we go.
The townspeople. Could they have held out?
Oh.
I don't hear any fighting. What do you think?
That we should hurry.
Natalie, I owe you an apology. You did well out there. The inn would have been lost had you not held the line.
Without you, there would have been no line to hold. You saved us, Conrad. You saved Dalimil.
We all saved Dalimil.
Conrad seems to have had a change of heart.
I'd say they both have.
I take it from your presence that our visitors from the desert won't be joining us either. Pity.
The plan worked, Sid. Granted, it only took an army of bloodthirsty bandits at our gate.
Calm now, Victor. Why quibble over the details? We are united, and that is all that matters. As for you, Sid, you fight considerably better than you act.
I'll take that as a compliment.
All right. All right, where was the... Glorious mark that wasn't... Remind me. Hortz's old... Quiet Sands. There, alright.
Good girl.
Run like the wind.
Time to fight.
No, it's not time to fight. F brothers. Right, they apparently big fans of God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, blood darken our shores again. But not for long.
Dude's name is Sandwich? Last Crusade. What? Oh, I thought they were gonna run into the ocean.
Help me, boy.
I got one of your brothers. Tertiary adventure. Chris, how's it going? Happy belated Canada Day. I don't want to slam. Audio issues minor, but enough to make you want to slam. What audio issues on my end? Oh, on Xbox for you. Don't want to slam too much, you're going to become like Nick.
No more vengeance. No more war.
Alright, what else? Clubs. Go help Martha.
This man's gonna die if we don't get him to a healer.
Martha, it's good to see you.
And you, Clive. Jill?
Otto said you'd been attacked by a Kashik. What exactly happened here?
Those skies are what happened. Not long after they fell dark, we had our first visit. There were hundreds of them. Tried to storm the hill. Only a handful made it up here, but that was more than enough. The rest are still down there now. And while we have a few willing fighters holding them back, they're sorely outnumbered. What do you think, Clive?
That we join the fight?
I thought you'd never offer. Now, where I need you is the Fallen Gate. That's where the fighting is fiercest. Let the men know you've come to help. Something tells me they'll be pleased to see you.
We're on our way.
Do you think they're
What
as Martha
is
says?
it in a particular game or is it just overall the sound issue?
You don't think they've abandoned us, do you?
Just in general, popping, crackling here and there. In headphones or is it overall audio?
Clive, wounded.
We deal with the Akashic first.
Unsure about overall. What kind of headphones do you have? Quite a few with different control. Huh.
Too slow.
These men don't have the look of hired swords.
If you've come to rob this place,
You are mistaken, my Lord Rosfield. We're here by Madame Martha's leave.
how do you know my name?
Forgive me, my lord. There wasn't time for introductions. We're with the Guardians of the Flame.
Wade's men? But how did you come to be here? Where is your commander?
Sir Wade left earlier with a scouting party to find out where the Akashic were coming from.
Did he? Take your wounded back to the inn. Martha will see you're looked after. We'll join you anon.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And to think you took them for thieves. A fine reward for holding off the horde, that is.
When did Wade and his men arrive?
Not long after Rosalith fell, the Guardians asked me to shelter some of them that had lost their homes. They were making ready to leave just as the skies turned, and we agreed it was best we stuck together.
Martha! Trouble! The scouting party's almost at the lift, but they got a pack of Akashic snapping at their heels! And they got wounded with them! They're not gonna make it!
Damn it all.
We'll worry about them, Martha.
You look after everyone here. If any can still fight, send them to the lift.
I will. You two be safe now.
My brothers.
Mad dogs. The law.
He said mad dogs, not bad dog about you. So it's okay, boy.
Fetch!
Aww.
Squire, I need you to get those who can still walk up the lift to Martha's. But what about... I didn't ask, Oscar. Sir.
Sir Wade.
Lord Rosfield. If you aren't a sight for sore eyes.
Martha seemed to think you might need some help. And by the looks of it...
We thought we could sneak by them. But we didn't know there would be so many. How could we have?
Behind you!
Damn it! We need to get the injured to safety.
Do you think we can hold them off?
We can certainly try.
Oversized Pokemon.
Are you with us, Sir Wade?
Always.
Then let's do our duty. Nice try. Titan!
Gil, why are you just standing there? Oh, never mind. You're casting magic. I apologize. Hey, leave my dog alone.
Is anyone hurt?
I don't think so.
And yet again, you've pulled me from the flames. It's just a pity I keep walking into them.
You've never been one to shy away from danger, Sir Wade. Like any shield worthy of the name.
I see you're all in one piece.
Martha!
Is something wrong?
The lookout saw smoke coming from down Eastpool way. Too thick to be a hearth.
A second horde.
Feel like finishing the job.
Always.
Jill and I will make for Eastpool. You'll need to move the injured without us.
Don't you worry about them.
The moment my men are safe, I'll follow. Good luck.
Alright, so did we... Alright, let's save the trouble of elevator. I think after this mission I'll wrap because I'm almost at 4 hours and some dinner.
Just patch me up as quick.
They're headed for the rest.
We have to slow them down. Martha and the others won't be ready.
Rookie numbers. I know. It's why I'll never be a professional streamer. Between having to stream for 8 hours straight and
Nice try.
treat your friends like shit, I don't think I have it in me, man.
Something's coming.
Mike Wazowski.
Apologies, my lord. Did I miss anything?
Only the first round, so wait. Shall we? Nice try.
About rookie numbers.
Do you see any more?
No. I think that was the last of them.
But it won't be long before the next lot arrive.
Then we make for Martha's while we can.
What did you find out there?
The same as Sir Wade. Scores of Akashic.
Well, wherever they came from, they're gone now. Our lookouts say the lowlands are clear. Hopefully we'll have enough time to lick our wounds.
How many of your men were injured?
A damn sight less than if you hadn't turned up. Thank you.
It was a hard-fought victory. But as long as the skies remain dark, I fear the Akashic's numbers are only going to rise. It's not a matter of if the Horde will be back, but when. And whether that's sooner or later, we'll need to be ready. The inn here affords a good view of the land, and is easily defendable. I'd like to make this one of our outposts.
What do you say, Martha? You'd have more men to guard the rest.
Well, when you put it like that, of course they can stay.
Ooh.
My lord, there's someone I'd like you to meet. Oscar, over here.
It is an honor to make your acquaintance, Lord Rossfield.
I am Oscar. Oscar of House Murdoch.
Oh, fuck.
I wasn't aware the Lord Commander had children.
Oh, he didn't. But his brother, my father, did.
Oh.
I am Sir Rodney's nephew. Well, go on then. It's not for me to ask him. Yes, Sir Wade. If it please you, my Lord Marquis, might you take me as your squire? I would learn the duties of a shield from the finest.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Oscar, but I am a shield no longer. Nor was I ever the finest. And spending time in the company of an outlaw hardly seems a fitting education for one aspiring to take his oaths.
My Aunt Hannah once told me that a man is not defined by his title, but what he does in its name. You have accomplished much since taking on the mantle of Cid, winning no little honor in so doing. And I would sooner serve under an honorable outlaw than an unworthy shield. Not that Sir Wade and the other Guardians are... I mean to say that, they're... It's all right. We know what you mean. There is only so much the boy can learn from me, my lord.
But a squire...
Would that really be so bad? You were a squire once. And I'm certain Sir Rodney would approve.
Know that I'll show you as much leniency as your uncle showed me.
I would not have it any other way.
Alright, so we get a new teammate. He doesn't even show up in our pixel party.
I will not let you down, Lord Rossfield. You or my uncle.
Alright, go there. We'll be set up for
First we
next
find
stream.
Isabel.
Sail here.
Welcome.
$50,000 for a song.
I'll
Sell
be
me
here
that
if
shit
you
off.
need me.
Heard a bloke saying he saw ghosts.
I saw it with my own eyes. The whole of
Down to the brothel.
I can't do it.
And we'll make a dusty little save. YouTube, thanks for watching. I will catch you guys next part.